Hi, good morning. I'm going to start a new group, how to stop pathological gambling. What is pathological gambling? I've never looked up the definition of pathological gambling. I'm using a definition through personal experience. Someone once told me knowledge is good when it's in the muscle, and my pathological gambling is in my muscle. I started gambling 6-7 years old, playing cards, street corners, under the lamppost, up in Scotland. Progressed to the bookmakers, and never really left the bookmakers until I was like 40. I had tried to stop periodically. I would stop for 3 or 4 months, and every penny that I got went into the bookmakers. If ever there was any excess money after the period of time when the bookmakers closed, I drank alcohol, and that became my medication. So I gambled and I drank, and that took me to mental institutions, prison, homeless hostels, a life of deprivation, food, clothing, relationships, everything. And pathological, how it started for me was curiosity. I seen people playing cards and there was loads of money, and I get curious to how could you get that money, and the bookmakers had systems. You could bet on football when I had a good knowledge of football. You could bet on the dogs and the horses. I didn't know much about them, but I had peers and I read up the information about it, and I get caught in a fantasy world. I believed I could get money through gambling, and it never left me. And the more I invested in it, it became a way of life. I get stuck in it. So stuck that I didn't know any better. And if anybody asked me how I was, I couldn't tell them an emotional feeling. I would tell them how much money I had. That's how confused I was with this way of life. And the curiosity went on to of being ingrained in the gambling and drifting from town to town. And as a pathological gambler, it's like a pathological murderer, qualified as a therapist. It's someone who has no consequences of their actions. They blatantly do something and they don't have any internal feelings, no internal dialogue of to why are they doing it, who's it going to affect, no empathy. And that's what can happen in periods of gambling, that you gamble and you don't know why yourself, but there's a drive, there's a self-sabotage, there's something inside you that just drives you to gamble with money that you obviously can't afford, and maybe money that you've stolen off an employer, or you've stolen off the children, your wife. When I say stole, I don't mean taken. I mean that you've let them suffer through the consequences of this irrational, pathological action. And how do you stop? How do you stop? Well, I believe there's something inside me that wanted to get well. I haven't gambled in 12 years, which is a big statement. I haven't had a bet for 12 years. There's certain things that I do in order for that bet not to manifest, because I believe there's still a gamble left in me. I don't believe I'm cured in any way, shape or form. What I do is, I used to bet on horses, so I don't buy newspapers, because the most important part of the newspaper would be the horses at the end, the back. I don't watch horse racing or get involved in conversations with other people about gambling and what they've gambled on. I don't gamble on lottery tickets, I don't gamble on football, I don't gamble on anything. And I condense my life into one day, and that is today. I can plan things in advance, but I don't put my emotions into it. my expectations, and how other people are going to react. And I have this flexibility. And the flexibility was quite difficult at the beginning because my gambling mind was so structured for pinpoint accuracy and demanding that of myself, timekeeping and different things, that it became awkward when other people didn't conform to my way of being. So flexibility and having a plan and being loose with the plan, and not believing my own thoughts. A good way to generate a map of how to construct my daily life is to ask myself questions. Well, if I ask myself questions, I am the provider of the questions. Then I can answer that question and go about with the actions. There's an amazing statement that I heard, and it was targeted towards me, and I'll target it towards you if you're a pathological gambler. There's a part of you that wants to get well. There is a part of you that wants to get well, and that's the part that you can expand on, explore, and really look into yourself. So that's all for just now. So see, I've started a group, How to Stop Pathological Gambling. I've got bundles of tips, techniques, how to process, to condense the day, and most of all, how to enjoy and how to manifest a life without gambling. To be happy, not gambling, is a target. I'll end on this. Pathological gambling is over here, and it's a lifestyle. It's lies to yourself, to everybody in your life. It corrodes every human aspect that's of any good. Over here